Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's Friday, April the 8th, and we're here with Chip Chirimbus of chipwins.com, and we're going to be going over some Major League Baseball, a couple of free winners on Saturday the 9th. But before we get to that, let's bring in Chip and say hello.
Hey, Ross, how you doing? Baseball season's underway, and I celebrated by buying a huge, big flat screen TV to start the season.
There you go. Glad to hear that. Yeah, there's nothing like getting a big a big new TV, I should say.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. Makes watching sports a little more interesting, and you wonder why you waited so long to get such a beautiful TV. You know what I mean? After watching a couple games. But anyway, Chipper, you finished the college basketball season strong, which doesn't help anybody right now, but it's certainly a feather in your cap. You're also doing well in the NBA, and tell the folks a little bit about how you've been doing as late and where they could find you.
Okay, thank you, Ross. I actually got crushed on Saturday in college basketball, came back with the winner on Sunday with a best bet. Monday, closed the season 41-20, the last 61 megabuck plays. Very proud of that. That's a long and big sample for single game best bet winners. And baseball started, went 1-0 opening day, had to have the Mets opening day, and they win. And now, of course, NBA is where our attention is to. And Ross, things have picked up right where they left off. 26-12 with my best bet winners. Last night I laid 17.5 with the Pelicans, and they won by 30. The games just seem to be jumping at me, and we actually swept the board yesterday as well. So NBA is doing really great, but Major League Baseball right now is really going to be the focus through the NBA playoffs.
Very nice. Those are pretty impressive streaks, and sort of the viewers understand, Chip, your megabucks plays are your equivalent of what we maybe term as a simplified best bet, but it's a trademark for you, correct?
Right. Yep. Yeah. I've been doing it for years. It always singled out my, single strongest play. It was my megabuck winner.
You want to keep an eye on those plays, folks. When he singles the game out like that, those numbers don't lie, and they can be confirmed and verified at several different sites on the internet. We just don't make false claims here, and we challenge you. If you don't think a record that we're telling you is realistic, go to some of the sites. We post that. It's all documented right there, and it's an independent source. So in any event, Chipper, my 10-star top plays in Major League Baseball, I started out yesterday with my first one of the year. I had the St. Louis Cardinals on the run line at money line odds of plus 115, and they cashed in nicely, a 9-0 win over Pittsburgh. And my Major League Baseball 10-star top play since the start of last season, 43-23. That's 65%. And those of you who have followed me for a while know that I don't give out favorites of minus 135 or greater. Seldom. On occasion, I may approach 140, but not too often. And underdogs, reasonably sized to small size favorites, and also totals. I do a lot of totals as well. So ROI, rate, return on investment, much more important in Major League Baseball than it is in point spread betting, because most of it revolves around money line betting. One other thing, the NBA playoffs are upon us. I know there's some meaningless games this weekend, and that's why we changed our course when we saw yesterday's schedule, decided to go against not doing the NBA, but Major League Baseball. But my NBA, Chipper, I had my last pick in the NBA at the LA Clippers on the money line as a 10-star top play over Phoenix. At the time I gave it out, they were minus 1.5. I jumped on them at minus 120 on the money line, folks. Money line NBA plays for me this year, none of them has exceeded minus 135. I've gave now 3 money line underdogs, and my record, I gave out 12 picks out of all the NBA picks I gave out all year on the money line, 12-0. That's documented. Wow. No matter where you go. And going back to last year, I only gave out 8 NBA money line picks last year under the same parameters, 135 or less or an underdog. I went 7-1 with those picks last year. So over the last 2 years, my NBA money line picks are 19-1. That's all documented.
Ross,
Go
That's
ahead,
beyond
Chip.
that's beyond impressive. I just want to know why
Yeah.
you haven't let me know which games you were playing. I could have got on it myself. I
Well,
mean,
you
that's
used
really
to
impressive.
yell at me all the time before and say, Russ, don't wait
You know, I'm
two
always
and a-"
playing the devil's advocate. You know that. I'm playing both
Yeah,
sides.
exactly.
But that's really, really unbelievable. 19-1 over the last 2 years. I mean, that's something that's very commendable. It's unfathomable that you can actually do that. And I congratulate you. Kudos to you,
I
Ross.
appreciate that. Well, as you can see, Chip, you know how many plays we give out in the NBA. I
Yeah.
mean, neither one of us are big volume players, but you give out an average of even 2 a day over a course of a season. That's quite a few selections over an 82 game schedule plus the playoffs. So it's only 20 that I've given away or given out, I should say, as far as NBA money line picks. And I've been fortunate that, you have to have a little bit of luck along the way too, right, Chip?
Well, I'd rather be lucky than good. That's the old
Yeah.
Yankee proverb. So we're sitting there looking to sweep another pennant this year, I guess.
But I know myself, if I hear somebody saying they're 19-1 and 12-0,
Yeah.
you start to second guess it. But if it's somebody like yourself or some of the other guys I have on this channel or some of the other sites I don't, because I know that they're operating with the utmost
Right.
integrity, and I know they're good handicappers and more than capable of doing so. So anyway, Chipper, we got 2 free picks going in Major League Baseball. By the way, folks, my website is rbwins.com. That's rbwins.com. Starting last week, anytime you go to my site, any multi-game or single game daily package, I guarantee 100%. You're not going to get a refund, but if you lose, say you lose a $35 pick, you're going to get $35 credited to your account. And also, if you have not registered at my website, which a lot of times you didn't have the incentive to do so unless you were going to buy something. If you're one of those people, register at my website right now. As a new registrant, I'll give you $100 free sign-up bonus, which will be credited to your account, and you could use it any which way you like toward future purchases. Sorry to cut you off there, Chipper, but I had to add that in. And tell us what you like.
The way you've been going, Ross, I don't know. I feel like signing up myself if I wasn't already on your list.
Well, vice versa with you, my friend. I mean, I don't know. I know the one site took away this is what ticks me off. And I'm going to say this not only on Chip's behalf, but on my behalf. A couple of sites out there, and they're good sites, and you make good money there. But they have a top play box you check. And I don't abuse that privilege. I don't give out more than one top play in any one sport on any particular day. For example, today I didn't give out any. And Chip, who's had this long run of 10-star mega bucks plays, excuse me, and a high degree of winning success. All of a sudden, the one site, and I'm not going to name them, beyond my belief, this is coming from me, not from him, would stop posting rankings on how you do just on your best bets.
Right.
Why they would do that is beyond me. And, again, Chip's like myself, he might give out a best bet every day as opposed to me, but he's only giving you one. Okay. Yeah. So, and you hear how good his record is. So, I'm going to leave it at that before I say the wrong thing. Anyway, go ahead, Chipper. Tell us who you like tomorrow.
Baseball's here, and we started with the win, so I was happy about that. Yeah. And, one season to the next. I looked at last year's overachievers, which were the Seattle Mariners. Yeah. And everyone's hot on them again. And last year's biggest underachievers were the Minnesota Twins. I mean, they were absolutely disastrous, a horrible year, a horrible team. They got rid of their ace, Barrios, and yet they go and they pick up 10 years ago, the number 1 draft pick was Carlos Correa. He's now playing shortstop for the Twins. They got my favorite player in the history of Major League Baseball, Gary Sanchez, along with a few others. So I don't know what the Twins are doing. It looks like they're trying to load up now after last year having given up. But I think they're going to have a bounce back season. They've been in the playoffs every year for the last decade, virtually until last season. Of course, they'd always be eliminated by the Yankees in the playoffs. That's their nemesis. It just happened year after year. Not that the Yankees could beat anyone else in the playoffs, but they'll beat the Twins. But I like the Twins here. My pitching matchup, I have Logan Gilbert's going for Seattle, and on the Twin side, who you mentioned it before, it escapes me right now.
Logan Gilbert for Seattle, and for Minnesota, I
How about
can't,
that?
it escapes me. Anyway,
I didn't write it down, but it's of no consequence because I'm playing a team here.
yeah,
And nowadays the pitchers are only going 4 or 5 innings anyway.
yeah.
I mean, look at Yotani yesterday, goes 4 2/3, gives up 1 run, and he's yanking them. So I'm not worried about the pitchers here. I'm playing a team game. I think the Twins are going to have a little more incentive this year and a little more hop to their step. And I like Minnesota in this contest.
Yeah,
I don't even care who pitches for Minnesota. How's that?
Minnesota is minus 130. You like Minnesota minus 130 over Seattle?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll go back to yesterday. Yu Darvish was pitching a no-hitter after 6 innings. They pulled him because of his pitch count. As far as Otani goes, I was watching that game and they made all kinds of excuses why they took him out. Basically, the guy's injury prone and it's early in the year and they don't want to press him. But yeah, I mean,
struck out 9 4 2/3.
Yeah.
Ross,
Well,
I mean,
when that happens too, your pitch count goes up. He also walked 4. So that's
Yeah,
conducive to a high pitch count.
yeah.
So early in the year, Chipper, I agree with you. Look, it's not like the old days. And when I say the old days, even 10 years ago, managers managed with their gut and their instinct and now it's all analytically driven and you get strength and conditioning coaches involved in monitoring everything within that individual's physique and heart rate and whatever have you. So it's a whole different game, right, Chip?
Well, not only that, but we found out that Sonny Gray is starting for the Twins tomorrow, and I'm happy to have him on the mound.
There you go. Sonny Gray, one of the better pitchers. Outside of when he pitched for the Yankees, has been one of the better pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
He was really good for Cincinnati, and before that, he was really good with Oakland.
And he should be better without the pressure. Now, Doyle Alexander is a number of guys that just can't handle it. Give me a Reggie Jackson anytime if you're going to play in New York. That's the way I see it.
They also, Gary Sanchez, you never know. I mean, look at this kid when he came up, hit a ton. I mean, now
he could hit between 30 and 40 homers without a doubt. And I said he wouldn't hit 240 last year. If you remember the bet I had, and he hit 202. That's a long way from 240. So he's got a long way to go as far as putting the bat on the ball. Maybe the change of scenery would do him a lot of good. But
nice
we know he's got pop in his bat. He's got a lot of power. I mean,
nice pickup too in Gio Urshela. A guy who's looked like he was destined to be just a defensive gem, but he's hit very well over the last few years. Let's put it this way, hit better than he did early in his career and well beyond what anybody expected for an average and for power. But make no mistake, you could put him at third base or shortstop. The guy is a defensive gem. He's solid in that regard. All right, so I'm going to get to the Cleveland at Kansas City game, an AL Central matchup. That goes at 4:10 Eastern time tomorrow. The starting pitchers are Brad Keller for the Kansas City Royals and Dan Plesac for the Cleveland Indians. Zach Plesac, excuse me. Keller, 7 career starts against Cleveland, all since 2008. A solid 2.13 ERA and a 1.18 WHIP. And Plesac, 8-1 in his career team starts versus Kansas City. All of those outings came since 2019, a 2.80 ERA and a 1.05 WHIP in those outings. Now, you might hear me use the term WHIP a lot through the course of baseball season on these videos. It's walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. Folks, I put a lot more emphasis on that when evaluating a starting pitcher than I do on ERA. Because you could have a guy that's, for example, when I see a guy with a 2.90 ERA and his WHIP is 158 over his last 4 starts, that tells me this guy is getting himself out of a lot of jams and eventually he's going to get blasted. On the other hand, some pitchers just know how to pitch and they could have a 4.50 ERA over their last 5 starts, but their WHIP is somewhere around 110. What that tells me is when they get the lead and there's nobody on, they'll give up some solo home runs once in a while. Catfish Hunter, going back to our old days, was one who did that probably more than anybody in baseball. He pitched to the lead. So that's something I put a lot of emphasis on. The opening game of this series was won by Kansas City 3-1. Neither one of these teams, I don't think you'll find in the top half of the American League at the end of the season when it comes to offensive production. I'm sure they'll have their hot streaks, but overall, I don't see either one of these teams being very formidable offensively. The Cleveland Indians have historically had a real good bullpen over the last 3 years, and Kansas City's bullpen has shown the last 2 years to be a bit underrated. Not great, but certainly better than average. So I'm going to go under 8.5 in this game. Cleveland, Kansas City, under 8.5 on Saturday afternoon in Major League Baseball. And Chip Chirimbus likes the Oakland A's minus 130 over. I'm sorry, Minnesota Twins. I got confused there with Sonny Gray. Minnesota Twins minus 130. So there you have it, folks. You know what? Our last 33 videos, we're 43 and 23. That's 65%. That's a combination of Chip Chirimbus, Doug Upstone from Doc Sports, and some of the guests that I've had on in recent weeks. So, and myself going solo on a couple occasions. So, I mean, folks, I don't know why you wouldn't subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free. There's no strings attached. We're winning. What am I missing here? And you know what? Those of you who have subscribed and those who haven't, very important. Go into your account or your YouTube account, hit that notification bell so I don't get these emails and text messages saying, when's the next video going up? You'll be alerted immediately upon any of our sports betting videos on this great channel going up. Subscribe, and like our videos at the end, folks, because guys like me and Chip put a lot of hard work into this business, and we share free information with you that we hope makes you a better handicapper today than you were tomorrow. Chip, any final thoughts before we sign off?
No, just looking for that one big play each and every day, and it's been working out for us the last couple of months, and very excited about the baseball season right now.
For Chip Chirimbus and Ross Benjamin, I'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Good luck and God bless, folks.